Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. If we could just do actually a moment of silence. No, we'll do that at the end if we can remember. I'll write it down. This is episode 112 of Keeping It Real. I'm going to write down moment of silence at end. And you might think, did someone die? No, it's for the audio processing of the episode so that I can remove any background noise that there may be. How are we doing? How am I doing? Whew, man, I don't know. I instinctively want to think like, let's just pull up my diary from a year ago. So let's do that and let's see what I was doing exactly 1 year ago today. I need a charger. My charger's right here. Hold on 1 second. Hope you're settling in. Hope you're, getting your steps in. Hope you're getting ready for a good day because, damn it, I got a long one. We're going to do this together, if you know what I'm saying. I hope I didn't just put my nuts on camera again. Okay. Google Docs. And of course, I'm your host, jackkadis. Please feel free to comment, email, get in touch with me however you can. I'd love to hear from you. If you want to send me an anonymous note, I can. I don't want to put myself on a high horse and say I'm someone worth taking advice from, but I'd love to hear about your situations. I'd love to hear about your happenings, your life, your mind. It gets very lonely on this show all alone, and I'd love to have something other than my own diary to read. So here we go. Volume 1, Jack Lauren Kadis. This is from the year 2024, and we're going to go just straight to today's date last year. So that is the 18th. And I titled this one, I Know Nothing, which, it's a pretty good title. Right off the bat, April 18th, I was about 2 months into a breakup, and I was really struggling to understand like what the whole point of everything was. I didn't really have anything like this show, Keeping It Real. I certainly didn't have anything close to the job that I have now and my coworkers that have become my close friends. I did not have the relationship that I currently have with my roommates. I'm not saying we were on bad terms or whatever, but since then I've obviously gotten to know them over the course of an extra year. So, our bonds are just stronger and we're much more dope. And I don't want to say that I've got it all figured out now because quite honestly, I am sick to my stomach nervous about today and what's going down today. But it's just I don't know. I feel like what can I talk about other than the present, I guess. But let's force ourselves into the past. Here we go. April 18th, I know nothing. In bed and dead. Out of bed. I would like to go and sit somewhere with a camera for a bit. That could be nice, I think. I think I'll just do it in my room. So I picked myself up and did things. No schoolwork, though, and that is probably the most important of all the things I need to do. Truthfully, I know nothing. I do not even know that I know nothing. I'm not sure when I will actually act as if that is true. I think it's impossible for me to truly live as though I know something. Every day I will fall into the trap of believing I know things. My entire life I believe that I will fight this constant urge to build myself in my mind as if I know things. It is not an urge actually, it is an action. I do it every day, all day. Soon I will go to New York. I'm excited, but it is actually going to be crazy. It will be extremely different. I am not sure I have what it takes to have the trip that I actually want to have. I want to have what it takes. I believe I can have what it takes, or I would not have spent the money on it in the first place. But believing is not very relevant in the sense of if I can or not. For example, I could believe that I could go to the moon this afternoon, but that is actually impossible. This belief could be a bad thing, you see. It may be that I just don't have the time to become the man that I want to become. Also, I believe believing I don't have the time in itself is harmful because I can always do anything I put my mind to, and I should believe that. Everything is harmful, I guess. Nice going, Jack. I'm just messing around with myself. None of this is very constructive. It is really just words filling a page. I will head up to my room now. Enough said. Actually, before I dissed myself at the end of that paragraph, I actually thought what I was saying was extremely valuable. I was really locked in on some philosophy. Like I was really building a like I don't think that was. I mean, you could call it not very constructive, but like that's so what? Like I think what I was getting at there was really interesting, and it might be worth a reread. But we're just gonna push through to the end of this. There are so many pretty girls in this area, it is actually nuts. I mean, there is almost too many to understand. It is an equal feeling to one of getting dropped off at college and all of a sudden having the entire world in your hands. Nobody can ever explain to you beforehand what it feels like, but once you're in it, you become paralyzed and unable to act. This is shocking to the paralyzed because they thought this is what they wanted in the first place. Now, left in this world with infinite possibility and option, they have no choice but to decide. They have no choice but to make decisions. They have to assign value to their decisions however they can. And then I wrote, enough of this, I am done. Bro, that was like, I should start writing again. That has inspired me, and I would like to begin to journal every day again. Because that was so awesome. Start daily journal. I mean, bro, I really cooked on this entry. Like, I'm going to close this because it's not very, I get it. It's my diary and but like, if it weren't for keeping it real, I'm not sure I would go and read that. And the whole point of keeping it real is to keep it real. And that's cool. We read an entry, but I don't want to read much more than that, much less reread anything. So let's talk about what I got going on. Today, I'm driving home to Charlotte. Also today, I have to go see About a Girl. Can someone tell me what movie that's from? Like, what pop culture reference is that? I have to go see About a Girl. Because that's what I said in my text message to my boss when I told her that I had to leave work early today. And I don't know what movie I'm referencing, but I know I've heard it somewhere. I have to go see About a Girl. And whatever movie it was a great movie. I know it. So I told her, okay, let me tell you what happened. This is good. Let's recount. But, lately I've been thinking, I think it might start becoming time to, stop talking about this because, maybe she might not like that you're talking about all this. But I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I do know that this is me keeping it real. I think. I don't know. It's all like one day you can think you're doing the right thing and the next the wrong thing, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And I think you gotta sometimes just push through to the other side just to see what happens, or else, if you always listen to that little voice like this is wrong, this is right, this is wrong, this is right, then you'd never be able to be consistent at anything. And I don't know. It's just I'm pushing through the consistency here, and for the sake of that, I'm going to tell you exactly what happened for these last 24 hours. So, yesterday, I didn't talk to her much, I didn't see her at all. So that leaves, the texting. And you guys know how I feel about the texting. It's not very me. But, I saw a quote the other day. Very smart man. He said, when you do things for others, you do it fast. When you do things for yourself, you do it slow. And I thought, how interesting, because that's really true, It's like when it's for you, you take your time. Or when it's for you, maybe you procrastinate, Either or, you kind of slow down because it's for you. You're on your clock and you do it for you. When you do something for someone else, you get that shit done as fast as possible, even if it's in the detriment to the quality of the task that you're performing. You get it done. So this is what I took away from that clip. I thought, well, if you combine the both in the middle, you get, a good pace and also a good reason, because no one wants to be too selfish and no one wants to be too selfless. So if you say, okay, well, I'm in this scenario, let me think about what action I'm going to do. And then let me say, okay, this action should A, be for somebody else, and B, be for myself. And those can coexist and coincide in one action. And then when you do that, according to the quote that I saw, which I did like if you haven't already caught that drift, you will be going not too fast, not too slow, your pace. So, having said that quote, I'll launch into the happenings of my life. Hadn't heard from her. I don't know. I just kind of started to feel, this is what I've noticed ever since I've been seeing this girl. I've noticed that like as time goes on and I continue to see her, it'll be like when I see her, like everything's really like alive. And like I thought the other night, like when I ended up, spoiler alert, I went and saw her last night. And I remember like before I knew that I was going to go see her, this is what happened. I was at work and I kind of just said, fuck it, I'm going to call her because I don't know. I can do that. And I literally don't know. Like if it was for like this is what I think. I think if I was doing everything for me, I wouldn't have called her that night. But if I was doing everything for her, then I would have been like texting I would have been sending sweet messages and pictures and stuff all day, like every 2 hours, So then I like meet in the middle and I'm like, all right, just call her, and see if she even picks up, don't think about what you're going to say. You can't help it. And I think what I was thinking is like, I'd like to see her. But like, don't think about whether or not you're going to see her. Just like call her and just, if she picks up, let her know you'd like to see her. So I'm still at work. It's about an hour till we close. And I ring her up and she picks up and I'm like, and I hear like she's at a very loud place. Turns out she's down the street with all the friends that like we have in common. And I'm like, whoa, okay. And right then, both when she picked up and when she said, I'm down the street, or like come by after work. And I said, okay, I'll be there. Everything got like really like colorful and like I went back inside to do my job and like I couldn't even really focus on the tasks that I was doing, but I was just like kind of doing them. Like I remember mopping the floor and like my brain was outside of my skull. Like I didn't even know what I was doing, but I just continued to do it. And like without this having have happened, I would have just kind of like, gone through the motions of the close and just kind of gotten out whenever we gotten out. But now that I know that they're down the street and like I said, I'd show up, now I'm like rushing. Now I'm like rushing to get out of there. And it's not all about like how fast I go. Like I have coworkers and, all that. So, I do everything as fast as I can. And then I'm like, all right, it's time to leave. And like, they're kind of, my two coworkers are kind of like, like they obviously are not in the same headspace as me, I believe. So they're kind of just, and so I'm just like, all right, guys, I'm going to go. I'm leaving without y'all. Like, you guys cool? And they're like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. And so I left and I got on my bicycle and I went down the street. And I think this is why I'm so like removed from myself. 2 episodes ago, on the third time I saw her, I'm not going to say like I regret or I was supposed to. There is no supposed to, and I certainly don't regret. But I remember saying to you guys, like, next time I see her, I need to kiss her. Because like I said, like we're going with this quote that I heard. We're going to keep tying it in here. If I was doing it my way, I feel absolutely no need to kiss this girl. I think she's wonderful, and I love spending time and getting to know her. I get like, I was talking to my buddy Sam about when he first kissed his girlfriend, and it's like, we both agreed, it's like traumatic. it's like like I have like PTSD. Like it's like the most nerve-wracking thing in the entire world. And women, I'm sure that you like know what I'm talking about. If you've ever been with a guy and maybe you're like waiting for him to kiss you and it's like a perfect moment, but like he just doesn't, I can tell you with utmost certainty, if he did kind of catch the vibe from split millisecond, he pushed it back out of his mind because he is not thinking about that at all. Like you might think it's obvious, like, oh, there's candles and like we're like by the water and like we been seeing each other for this long and like he's been complimenting me and saying I look nice and everything and like why isn't he kissing me? Like I promise you, he probably still really likes you. It's just like, why would he kiss you? Like, he doesn't understand. Like, I just don't get why. I don't get why I have to. Why I have to like. If I would do it for me, I'd go slow. You know, I'm sure we'd end up kissing eventually, but certainly not now. Certainly not today. Certainly not tomorrow. You know, like just eventually. But then on the other hand, if I'm doing this for her, then I would like become that like guy of every girl's dreams and like do my best to sweep her off her feet. And I probably would have tried to kiss her the very first time that our very first date. You know what I'm saying? So then you find that middle ground, and it's like, all right, you know, you don't have to like buy roses and light candles, but get over yourself and just when it feels right, just lean in for a kiss. So that's what I think the middle ground is, and that is we're gonna stick back on the timeline that we've been going on right now, and we're gonna work towards the present, which is right now. So yeah, bro. Sometimes I just fill the gaps with words. I just said the present, and then I added which is right now. No shit, Sherlock. The present is right now. Anyway. So I hop on my bike, and it's now in telling the story that I realized to you why I was so outside of my body at this time, because I had come to this realization, right? And I didn't really have the quote to back it up back then. I saw the quote last night, I think, but like after the whole thing happened. But like after I got home, there's no like whole thing that happened. It's just like when I got home, that's when I saw the quote. But yesterday I did like kind of decide that like, okay, like I think I decided it 2 days ago, actually. I did it on, I said this stuff on Keeping It Real. There's an episode called Make a Move, Brother. Like, and that's Make a Move, Bro. And that I'm bro, and bro needs to make a move. So, you know, ever since that episode, and, you know, of course, especially like this moment where like, okay, she's down the street, I'm going to see her. I've got it in my head, like, I mean, what I said in Make a Move, Bro, was the next time I see her, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to kiss her, no matter what circumstances, no matter what. And you could say I broke a promise to myself. You know, I could say that. I might say that I failed, actually. I might say that I failed. Failing's okay, to be honest with you. And I'll explain what happened. I won't make any excuses, but I'll just explain what happened. And, you know, what this might be is it might be a learning experience, and it might allow myself to pick back up and not set goals that I fail, you know, because no one wants to fail. And it's good to set goals that are really out there and really big. Like, next time I see this girl, no matter what circumstances, I'm going to kiss her. But you also want to be the R in SMART, which is an acronym for how to set goals. SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. I don't know if it's realistic or it is realistic and time specific. You have to be realistic, okay? And when I spent that hour and a half like outside of my body, because I knew that I had made this promise to myself, and I wasn't backing out mentally. I was like, when I see her, I'm going to do something. I don't know how, like I don't know how I'm going to do it. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to try to kiss this girl. So I bike and I get to where they're all at, and it's like, and I open the door and I see everyone. I see the layout, and she is, there's a seat open for me, and she's sitting across the table from my seat. And, you know, everyone's like, hello, and I'm saying my hellos. And right there, I'm like, abort mission. Because I like, what are my options here? I guess, you know, looking back, you know, I could have been like, hey, Emma, could I ask you something outside? Oh, I just said her name. I'm really not supposed to do that. I could have looked at her and be like, hey, can I ask you something? Like, yo, would you mind stepping outside with me for a second? Or, you know, I could have just leaned over the table and hoped that she met me in the middle, in front of everybody. But I didn't. And, yeah, I'd say that's a failure, but But all failures are good failures, and we don't move forward if we don't fail. So let me tell you how the rest of the night went, and how I believe I learned from my failure and set myself up for future success. So dinner was good. I found it very, very interesting because I was very attentive to like who I was talking to and looking at and how I was, behaving. And it was very like third person-esque. Lots of laughs. They were drinking. Very good time. And here's something to note. The guys knew I had to move all these. Do you see these books behind me? They're all on the floor too. You can't even see to the extent of how many books there are in this room. I had to move them all up here last night because today I have to put a big piece of furniture in my car because today I'm going home to Charlotte. Mom, how are you going to listen to this episode? Because tomorrow morning I'm going to be on your walk with you, and I will certainly not be listening to this with you because forget about it. And they're like, okay, we'll help you tonight. Like, they're just really good guys, really great friends. And they're like, okay, we're going to come help you with these books tonight. And I'm like, no. I said no, like, before they even got this sentence out. I was like, nope, not going to happen. No. And I just didn't want help. Like, I don't, it's a big favor to ask, and I didn't want to ask that big of a favor from anybody. So I just kept saying no, and they kept bringing it up. Maybe the third go around, I look in front of me, and she's looking at me, and she's like, let them help you. And I was like, okay. I just said okay. I didn't really think about it. I just said, okay. And then they came and they helped me move these books in like under an hour. It would have taken me probably 4. And I should say thank you to her. Anyway, dinner's over. Yeah, I'm thinking about, I don't know what to think about that. I don't know what you think about that, but like, I was like, there's no way in hell that these guys are going to help me move these books. Like, no way in hell. And I met her eyes, and she said, let them help you. And like, it's almost like I wanted to cut her off to say okay, but I didn't want, like, I had to almost like bite my tongue and like think about what's a reasonable amount of time to wait before I open my mouth back. This is all done in like milliseconds to seconds, but for some reason, like, time like expanded, and like I was much more conscious of like, I like locked in my answer. I was like, I have to tell this girl yes immediately. Like she thinks I should let them help me, so I'm like I think maybe in my mind it's like I knew that I made a big show of saying I didn't want any help from them, and I thought that it would show her that like I really, I don't know, had a lot of respect for her or whatever. Not or whatever. Yeah, like I think maybe like I did these rapid calculations, and I thought like this is just, and it's kind of muscle memory because we're getting older and I've been through situations like these, and I just thought that it would be a very good gesture to just immediately take her advice right in front of her, even though it directly went against what I thought and what I wanted. And also, like the minute I decided that, I immediately started finding the pros, and I was like, actually, this is going to be a huge time save. And like, this is actually going to like this is going to be really good for my health, my rest, my body. I wanted to carry these books up these stairs. And, yeah, so it's funny. I just think that's worth mentioning. So then, mind you, I said yes. We get everyone pays and we leave. And so we walk the girls to their car, and then I think I'm thinking about how, I don't know, like I'm not down on myself or anything. I'm kind of like, my mind is kind of like starting to be like, okay, the next thing is I'm going to go and do the books. Like I biked here, I'm going to bike home. And before she gets in the car, I'm walking with her, laughing with her. And then like before we say goodbye, I'm like, at the restaurant, I had asked like, what are you doing after this? And she said, I have work super early in the morning tomorrow, which is today. And I was like, okay, noted. And then we got to the car. I said, I think I probably had already asked when she got off work. And I was like, and I said like, I'll see you after work. I just straight up lied to her. I told her I did not have work today. And I should probably apologize for that. Maybe, I don't know, because you never want to lie, even if you think that it's a good thing. Like even if it's like, oh, but I lied to her just so she wouldn't feel like guilty that like I called off work or something. It's not for you to decide how someone else might feel. I shouldn't have lied. This is what I could have said and should have said. I should have said, hey, I would love to call off work. I know for a fact they'd be just fine without me, or I don't know for a fact. I'm doing this in real time, and this is actually exactly what I would have said if I said what I think I should have said. So I would have been something like, I'm sure they'd be fine without me tomorrow. I can double check and get back to you, but in the event that I can get off work, would you be interested in seeing me when you're off your work before I go, home? And I think that would have been much better, because I'm sure she like smelled bullshit right away. Like, you definitely have work. Why are you lying? Like, why can't you just tell me you call off? So I think that I should actually probably clear that up when I see her today. But she said yes. She said yes. And I remember there was a bit of misunderstanding. And it was probably because she was trying to figure out what the hell I was doing. I thought that it was just like a conversation hiccup, but it was probably her stretching out her words just so she could see like how I was acting. Maybe. I don't know. I give this girl a lot of credit sometimes, and I don't really know her. But I don't know. I think it's good to give people a lot of credit. Anyway, she says yes, and I'm like, let's go. Because of her, now I'm gonna have help with the books, and also, I get another chance tomorrow. I get another chance tomorrow, and today is tomorrow. And I'm sure we're just going to go somewhere really nice and really quiet, like we always seem to be end up finding together. And I just hope that I can... I know that feeling, right? It's like, I think a lot of guys out there can relate. Like, that feeling. It gets to a point, when you're alone with the girl, and you can sort of like feel that like something just happened. Like, something's off. She's acting like a little, and you don't really know. And maybe you're in the middle of like talking about whatever you're talking about, probably something that only you're interested in, if you know what I mean. Like, and like, it doesn't matter. Even if like she's the one talking, like all of a sudden, like you kind of get this feeling, and you're like, and it's like, then you choose to ignore it or not ignore it. And it's so, I think that for me personally, I've chosen to ignore it with her and so many other girls so many times that like I've built up these thought processes where I'm able to like, ignore it and then have the correct thoughts to continue ignoring it and just like brush it off. And I'm not saying these thoughts are like, it's time to lean in for the kiss, rip each other's clothes off and have sex in public. No, I'm like, that's not what I'm talking about. Like, I'm talking about like maybe like it would be like, maybe you don't have to like maybe it's like one of those things where you're thinking too hard about it. Like, maybe just like you realized that last night you shouldn't have lied. You should have just told the truth. Maybe having such a feeling like that when you're with someone and then, not addressing it with your words is another form of lying. I think I'm really getting somewhere here. I'm really liking this episode, and I'm really liking my train of thought right now. Lou, I feel like if you're listening to this, you're like, hell yeah, brother. I feel like you'd be proud of me for this one. So, use your words, be honest, open, and communicate. That's the way to go. That's the way to do it. That's how these things work out, and no one wants anything not to work out. Everyone wants these things to work out. So take a breath, and just be ready to pay attention to how you feel. So we just hit the 30-minute mark, and I'm thinking, can I talk about this for another 30 minutes? Do I have that much on this to continue talking about it for another 30 minutes? I don't know. I'm realizing now that my mic is kind of clipping from time to time. I hope that it's not too bad, and I just had a ton of mac and cheese, and it's not the healthiest thing for me to have had, but it's definitely better than not eating. You can't just not eat. And I guess you can not eat, but there's ways to not eat, right? It probably would have been even better if I only had a little bit of mac and cheese instead of a ton of mac and cheese, So that leaves the today, the current, and now I'm left with this dilemma. I called off work today, and my boss told me there's no need to come in for just 2 to 3 hours because I didn't call off. I said I'd leave early, and I kind of want to show up anyway, because I know that I could help out in 2 to 3 hours. I know I could be of big use, even though she said there's no need to come in. I don't want to just be okay. I feel like I should show up, still. I don't know if I'm gonna have time actually, because, this episode finishes in 30 minutes and then it's 2 p.m. I may just not show today, because I don't know. Part of me wants to there's what am I getting at here? I kind of just want to maybe take care of myself before this big eventful moment this afternoon. Maybe just go get some chicken from Food Lion and cook that and watch this movie that a good customer I just met named Cole recommended to me called Revolver from 2005. I'm worried that I might have already seen it, but in the event that I haven't, I'd love to just watch a movie, because it's one of those scheduling things where if I decide on work, then that means that my schedule is crammed and packed, and I'm going to be rushing all the way up till 6 p.m. I'm going to have to pack a change of clothes, worry about all this and take my car. And if I want to leave after work to go home and get there tonight, then I'm going to also have to pack for the next 4 days and nights. And all my equipment has to come with me because I have not pre-recorded anything. We're going to keep keeping it real live as I go home. And it's not that I don't think I could do that or I don't want to do that. It's more of I don't know. You could let me know. Do you think that I'm letting laziness win by saying I just kind of want to take a breath and wrap this up and then just see where I'm at time-wise? Is that the craziest thing ever? I don't know. I don't think so. I have a good buddy that's been on this show a couple times, and yesterday's episode, he was off camera. He acted as Jamie. If you know Joe Rogan, Jamie's just the tech guy. And I want to know, I want to explain and talk to you about him. He talks about laziness and how he's allergic to it. He cannot be lazy. He refuses laziness, rebukes. And I think when I hear him talking about that he's I don't know what he's been through or, what kind of family he comes from. I've heard of things and this and that, and he's told me, but the only way I could really know is if I was him. But that definitely won't stop me from trying, and this is me trying. It seems to me when he begins to talk about I refuse laziness and I can't be, he says, I cannot be lazy. I want to know what makes him say that, right? Like why is it that he is so adamant about laziness refusal? And what has he made that word into within his own mind? Like when I say laziness, I guess I just think of like laying on the couch. But when he says laziness, I wonder what he thinks of. Does he think of like deep sin? Does he think of like, I don't know. I want to know more, and I want to understand more. So I'm excited for the weeks to come. I believe he told me he will be living here this summer, so there should be many more episodes where I can really just try and drill into him. And yeah, it feels good to talk and say that on this camera in this solo episode because like I have been thinking about it, and I wonder if you guys noticed that too when I had him on. I think he was on episode 90. He was on 97. I think he was also on 104 maybe? I think he might have done 105, I feel like. No, it may be 104. I don't know. 105 or 104 was the episode in question. And I think that it was a really good episode because I feel like we were really getting somewhere. Like I feel like I was really learning a lot about him. And that's what it's all about, man. People... It's really hard. Like, it's one thing to put yourself out there. That's hard enough. But to find people that are willing to dig into you, man, you have got to take, I don't want to say take advantage, but you've got to realize what a blessing that is. Many a time in my life that has happened, and many a time I have forcefully pushed those people away because I don't want you getting into me. Get into yourself. Like stay away from stay away from me. But that's like what has made me come to think that? Like why like now I'm sort of getting to the point where it's it's more like a food web. Like we all survive off one another and being social is just as important as eating food and breathing air and sleeping. So it's like, I dive into some people dive into me. Maybe every so often we find two people, me and this person, that dive into one another. And that's pretty cool. You know what I'm saying? Two people that want to know about one another. Like, that's pretty cool. And then, it's very, very interesting. Very interesting. And I think it's really at the foundation of keeping it real. Because just in this room, coming up on half a year ago, I think it's already been half a year. My buddy was, his flight got delayed. So I said, let's stop by my house. I'll make some eggs. And, we're sitting, turn the cameras on. I don't even think I told him. I just think I knew I was gonna. And so we did. We actually used that table, which is now using the books, because I didn't even have this table yet. And I rolled the cameras. And, I tried to get into him. That guy, this guy, my boy, Rob, I don't think you don't listen to this show. But bro, I love you, bro. Ever since that time at the beach where we did a ton of acid, like even before that. It was before the acid, but like I remember that the acid was the first time that I intentionally laid into you. Like the acid on the come down of the acid when we were in my bunk room of the house that my family no longer owns, and I got you to confess to me that you actually had taken your grandmother's Ambien and oxys, and I felt like I could tell that like you didn't really want to tell me that, but I really was begging you to tell me. I remember how rewarded I felt when you finally told me, and I remember I was like. I probably, what I would have done with it now, I think would be better because I've come to learn. I don't know what necessarily I did, but because I remember it fondly, I kind of remember it in the sense of what I would do now. And I hope I did something similar to just letting you say it, not butting in and telling you what I thought about it, but just like hearing it, really doing my best to hear what you said and how you said it. And just maybe if the silence was loud, asking how you felt about it at the very most. Because you don't understand. I don't think you really understand. Like, you made me feel really important because I felt like I was someone important enough to you for you to release what seemed like something maybe you didn't tell everybody, or maybe you thought often on your lonely about, if it was good or bad or what kind of person it makes you. Realistically, I probably did some dumb shit, like butted in and was like, hey, who cares, man? I've done this, this, and this, and this, and just like made it about me. But like, I remember, I really am never going to forget that moment. And that's what it's all about. And there's been times when people have really tried to put their hand on my shoulder, and I've really tried to, 2 years ago, or maybe even last year, I was really drunk and I ran into this person that I had been seeing around, and I was like doing what I do, just trying to gauge them. And I think I gauged them as someone that might just want to hang out with me while like we kept on getting fucked up. And I was like, come on. And they were like, no. And then as they were leaving, they put their hand on my shoulder and they were like, are you okay? And right when they said that, it was a similar fire that happened to me, like a firing of like neurons that happened to me, similar in the way of quick firing, not in the context or aftermath of when I was sitting across from this girl last night and she told me, hey, let them help you move the books. But in this situation, she puts her hand on my shoulder. She says, are you okay? And it just fires. And immediately I'm thinking, what is this? Like, I don't like, that's very nice of her. Like, tell her that's very nice of her to say that, but get out of here as fast as possible. Like, leave as fast, like physically move away from her as fast as you possibly can. So I probably looked back at her and I probably said, thanks so much, for worrying about me, but I'm all good. I appreciate it. And left, got the hell away, because that made me feel really, I don't know what it made me feel, because I didn't let myself feel anything. You know what I'm saying? I did not let myself feel anything. And I look back on that and I think, like, I can't be doing that. I can't sing this high praise for this moment I had with my friend where I felt like I was putting the hand on the shoulder and then say that I reject hands on my shoulder. That doesn't, I feel like that doesn't really correlate, and I can't justify it. Maybe you could, you can always find ways to make anything work, but for the sake of who knows what, I'm deciding that I think that's probably not good, and I should be welcoming to hands on my shoulder. There have been a couple hands on my shoulder over the past couple weeks and months, and I'm extremely, extremely grateful for them. I think they are helping me live and breathe. I think suffering can be a good thing. If you're studying really hard, or you're working out really hard, or you're just trying to become better, but loneliness, that is not good suffering. When you stay in a room and you reject both hands on your shoulder and you reject the opportunities to put yours on others, you are killing yourself. I believe this. I believe that you are killing yourself, and you can't be doing that to yourself, bro. Like, you're so awesome, bro. Like, don't be killing yourself. So now we've reached a point in the episode where it's like, all right, we got like 20, 15 minutes left, and when I kind of cut myself off and say, okay, we've reached a point, I often think like, dang, what now? Like, what am I going to talk about now? And I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see. I don't know. I love keeping it real, I love keeping it real. I love keeping it real. I do. If you're wondering how I got the name for this show, it was ChatGPT. I probably typed in something like, what would you name a podcast that's maybe not really a podcast, more of just a show where I do whatever the hell I want, and I do my best to keep it real with the audience, and it did give me like 10 names, and keeping it real stuck out to me. I didn't give it a second thought. Keeping it real. This show wears me out, like I get to certain points in the show and I'm like, dang, I am tired. I do not want to do this anymore. Like, this is crazy. Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, you know, and that's cool. But this is what we do. We keep it real. I'm thinking about my trip this summer to Colorado with my friends, this road trip. And I'm thinking about how keeping it real is going to exist with this trip. I have got it in my head. I'm really considering doing like psychedelics, but I think that I think it's best if I start putting that to rest. I think if I keep building it up in my mind, I'm going to end up doing it. And I think I'll end up regretting it. I've already done it. There's nothing more for me there. And I think it's high time I start telling myself that I'm not going to do it. So this is the beginning of that process. I'm not going to be doing any drugs. That's not my thing. I'm going to make the most of this trip to Colorado, and I'm not going to, I'm not going to do any drugs or anything. I'm going to stay with my mind and my head, and I'm going to keep it real because that is what I do. That is what I do. I keep it real. That is what I do. I keep it real. I keep it real. That is what I do. This is what I do. I keep it real. I'll tell you one thing's for certain with this show, and especially how I think lately I've been doing a really good job at this show. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but like there, longtime listeners will know episodes didn't always used to have this air of quality, and it definitely has a lot to go. But like we're definitely in like a good period where I can see growth and really believe in it because it's currently happening rather than just like grasping at it and hoping I'll get it right tomorrow. What was I saying? Something about oh yeah. I think this is pretty cool. I think I probably speak more words every day because of this show than majority of the people that I come in contact with. I mean, I think the only people that might talk more than me would be like professors, maybe. Professors probably would talk more than me. Yeah, probably just professors. I can't imagine. I mean, I guess if you're working a long shift and you're around people, that might do it. But let me just put it this way. I am nonstop talking for 1 hour. Like that, no one else is doing that, that I'm ever seeing throughout the day. That's why I go to professors, because maybe they do it. And maybe actually I don't have the most words per day thing because it's kind of just this show where I'm talking this much. I do talk to people though outside of this. I don't know. It's hard to quantify, but it's something. It's something fun to think about. Like what do you think about that? Like I use my mouth a lot, and I feel like I'm honestly like my jaw muscles are pretty trained, and the more I do this show, like the more it doesn't feel so like. I remember that one of the first couple episodes where I went solo on the 1 hour mark, I remember feeling like holy. Like I think the motivation helped push me through it, but I was like, if I didn't have this motivation, like why would I be doing this? And yeah, now I still have motivation, but it's a different kind of motivation. It's becoming more and more discipline. And that's what we chase. That is what we chase. My posture is horrible, and I got a lot of belly fat. Let me tell you, if this girl that I'm seeing, I continue to see, regardless of if I see her or not, there's a lot of changes that I need to be making in my life to become healthier. I have a deep desire to get better, and that was cool. Did you see that? Yeah, I think you did. I was actually right on camera. It bounced like right back. I don't think I could do that again if I tried. Oh, almost. But when I did it, it was like perfectly parallel to me. I can't do it. Still got to draw the title card for this episode. This is a fantastic episode, and I feel grateful that you let me talk to you for this many long hours. And I also wonder if I'm going to be able to move this piece of furniture into my car with just me as one person to go home tonight. I wonder if that's possible. My parents are probably going to give me a hard time for showing up late at night without telling them. I should probably just tell them. So, or, you never know. I don't know. You never know. You never know what might happen. For a second, I thought you never know what's going to happen. Can I be honest with you? For a second, I was like, well, what if everything goes really well tonight with this girl and we end up staying the night together. And then I was like, don't say that on camera. Don't even think about that. Why? Because I don't know. That shit scares the fuck out of me. I don't really want I don't know how to explain this. Sex is the most complicated thing in the entire world. I have no idea. You guys see how much I'm stressing over a kiss? I have no idea. And I'm not even talking about sex. I'm just talking about spending the night with one another. You don't have to have sex to do that. But then it would be become this thing where why are we spending the night? Does this person think this might gonna happen? And that shit freaks me the fuck out. And I doubt it's gonna happen because of that. Unless, it'd be crazy if she was I don't know. This also yesterday. Also, we're moving books yesterday, and bro comes in my door, and it's just me and him in this room, and he's like, "Yo, she told her friend that she wishes you would make a move on her." And I couldn't help but smile, but I feel like that's cheating, that I know that. I'm not supposed to know that. So I'm really trying to not think about that too much, because that didn't come from her. And as long as it doesn't come from her, then it's not a fact. But yeah, okay, it made me smile because okay, so you want me to okay, really? Anyway, any was, anywhere, any woo. Yeah, this is I feel like maybe we're losing intensity. My words are getting more spaced out. I'm not very locked in, you could say. But then again, maybe I'm just thinking too much about it. I very much so want to be done with all my work today and lay in bed. But then when I am done with all my work and laying in bed, I am not going to realize how much I wanted to do this when it was earlier in the day. Do you know what I am saying? And it's strange because I don't necessarily know how to go about that. Should I A, enjoy the moment and enjoy my work more? Or, yeah, probably. It's probably A. It's probably A. So many books. It makes me so happy. Can I tell you why it makes me happy? Because I think there's a lot of worrying in my life, and where's my future going, and what do my parents think about me, and I don't know what's going on. So when I get the opportunity to just put a fuck ton of books in my room, and I can fantasize about organizing them by the Dewey Decimal System, and maybe I'll put a shelf up, it's logistics and a side quest, and I think it really just calms me down, and when I think of the books, I just kind of just get comfortable and happy, and it's just nice to be comfortable and happy. Books, ding, you know what I mean? I think this girl would really like to sort through these books with me, to be honest with you. Yeah, I think she'd like that. So maybe I'll save that and see when she's free. Also, I think this is a really good idea. She's never been downtown to Glenwood Avenue. And if you're not in Raleigh, North Carolina, Glenwood is our street downtown with all the bars and the clubs and the drinking and the underage kids, the college kids, and then the 40 plus. It's just the whole city of Raleigh converges on Glenwood on the weekend. And it is crazy. You see crazy, crazy things. So I thought it'd be really cool to take her there because I go and I'm not like, I don't drink. And every time I go, I kind of just want to leave. Like, it's not like somewhere that I identify with necessarily, but it is somewhere that like I go and, and for someone that's not gone before, you just got to see it. I mean, it's something out of some crazy movie or book. It's like, it's crazy. All these drunk people just continuing to drink, all along this road with these cops that shut everything down, and like everyone's dressed differently than they normally would be, and like speaking louder, and there's noise, and there's music coming from all different doors at different beats per minute, and like guys selling hot dogs, and just crazy stuff. And if you're lucky, you might get hit on by a gay guy. That stuff always makes my night. Whenever gay people give me that look, I'm like, hell yeah. Hell yeah, brother. You want this ass? Shit, you can't have it, but looking's free, all right? For you only. Hey, you can look. You can't touch. All right? But look all you want. Take a picture even. It'll last longer. I know I got that thing on me. I think I look. So it's like, actually, I was gonna say like the books would be I think she'd like, and Glenwood Avenue I think I'd like, but I don't think she liked the book. I don't know what she really would like. Like what, like where could I take her or ask her to do? Like what would she be into? Like tonight, what are we even doing tonight? What are we even doing tonight? What are we even doing tonight? Shit, where do I take her tonight? I've not told her anything. Oh, fuck. Okay, well, you got a couple hours. You'll probably, you know what? Maybe you should watch the movie and think about it. And you can just like, maybe we could go, we should go, oh man, I don't know. I have no idea. Oh no, I don't really want to like, I wouldn't have any problem with it necessarily, but I don't want to take her anywhere that like I've been with a different girl, just because like, I don't know, like I feel like you could, like, I feel like it's not a big deal at all, but like, I'm not thinking about it too much when I kind of just like rule these places out. Like, nope, we're not going to go there, not going to go there, not going to go there. Just because, I don't know. So where could or should we go? We could, I just have no idea. I have no idea. What if, so she'll just have gotten off work and she says she gets off 5:30. I think this time she might let me pick her up finally for the first time. And then it'll be like 6:30. You know what? I think it's best if I come to where she is and we walk around her neighborhood. Because she's going to be done from work. I don't know. Well, maybe I could Google Maps, like what's around her. Because I know what the building... I've been to where she lives before. Okay. It's right at the end of Hillsborough. So that could mean... we could go tons of different places. Oh, this would be cool. Fun, maybe. Because it's just a giant field. And it's like, it's just a couple blocks away. So I could pick her up and I could be like, it's probably going to be, what's the weather? All right, this episode's over. I will see you all tomorrow. I don't know. Holy cow, what an episode. Am I right? Thanks so much for listening. Peace.